This is called Realigning Your Life Narrative, or a better name for it was What Have I Learned from the Movies? The guy you see on the screen is Joseph Campbell. He wrote a book called The Hero 1,000 Faces. And that book has been used in Hollywood to like justify how films are made. So we're going to go over really quickly how the hero's journey works and how it can be used in your life. So now this is going to move fast because the slides are really fast for this one. So I'm going to try to move through it. So I'm going to actually just turn around, let you look at the presentation itself rather than me, because it makes more sense that way. So you have the ordinary world, which is the place you call home, the place where your journey starts. If you have your family, you hang out with them, you kick it, you talk to them about your life, everything's great. Then you meet a little holographic princess who tells you to come and do a fantastic adventure. You're shocked by it. You kind of like are amazed that you refuse to go because no one wants to do anything new, and you hate the idea. And so you sit and debate about it with your friends. Then you meet a mentor, and the mentor says, no, do this awesome thing. Go ahead and do it. You're going to be great. And then something happens that makes that situation untenable. You have to go on the journey to complete your idea. If you don't go on the journey, you're at home. You can't. Your world will not change into the positive. So, sorry, the clicker's not working. Then once you cross the threshold, you meet new friends, like an awesome alien bear, or a guy who wants to beat you up in a bar, or white guys in white uniforms that want to take your droids. And you learn a bunch of things on that journey, and everything's great. Then you approach like the greatest fear you have about the journey. It's called the innermost cave. It's something Aristotle and Plato talked about, is that you confront your worst fear. And that worst fear is looming in front of you. And then once you get into the situation, you actually see your worst fear, which is being stuck in a garbage chute in a rotating death moon. It's really cool, really great. You don't like it very much. And there's some kind of weird snake in the bottom of that, right? Mm-hmm. But you get a reward from that ordeal. You return with a princess, plans, and a way to blow up a death moon, and you become a pilot all of a sudden, even though you've only been able to shoot rats in your spare time. But now you're awesome. You're a pilot, and you're going to come back. And so you go back with your group, your homies, back to fight the rotating death moon with your friends, and you use your new knowledge to confront the situation, and that new knowledge gives you all of the information you need to be awesome, and you use that knowledge to blow up the death moon, and you win rewards like medals and honor, even though the space bear doesn't have a medal because it's racism. You love the idea that you are awesome now. All right. And that's hero's journey. You kind of go to full circle. You start off as a space farmer with no skills, end up a galaxy hero, right? Awesome. Life is great. But how does this apply to our real life? What happens? The hero's journey happens in our lives all the time. And the problem is that we don't recognize it as real. We think it's a mythological situation, but it actually has real life application to your existence. There are some reasons for this. The call cannot predict the outcome, right? Luke Skywalker was on a farm. He was playing with his friends. He was talking about being cool. He was shooting rats in his spare time, right? Mm-hmm. Then he gets the call, and then he couldn't predict that was going to lead to him leading a space mission to blow up a death moon, right? No one's going to do that, right? In The Matrix, Neo was like on a computer, like most of the time, like lonely dude in his apartment eating soup. He couldn't have predicted that would end up him fighting agents and stopping bullets in midair, right? And so we as human beings, the first thing we do is we get the call to adventure. We reject it because we don't think the call is important enough. We dismiss it as too minor of a situation. Another example, the outcome could be bigger than you, right? Young kid, graduating Morehouse College, goes to ministry school and graduate school because his dad told him to. He accidentally kind of gets a speaking engagement on a march on Washington, which makes him the leader of the civil rights movement, which is a civil rights declaration, which led to Obama being president, right? The kid could not have predicted that being the outcome in no way, shape, or form, right? The outcome could be bigger than you, and you don't see it as that way. We're overwhelmed, right? It's too much going on. I can't do anything more. I've already got too much going on. I'm tired. No more. I'm all about me right now. I can't deal with it. This is like the number one reason people don't get relationships, right? If you ever talk to somebody who's not in a relationship and they say, well, are you going to date? I got to do me right now. I can't do anybody else. I got to do me right now. Like, they reject the call because it's too much to deal with. Or we just do foolish things in general. We blow it up. We self-destruct it. We push the button like, you know what? I'm not doing that. No, not doing that. We often just push self-destruct button because we don't want to engage. So ways you self-destruct. We do criticism, like the Muppets in the corner there, right? We complain to everybody we know. I hate my life. I hate my job. I hate my people. I hate my mom. I hate my mom. And we have a pity party. It's not fair. Life's not fair. I just don't understand why nobody loves me. I don't understand. Well, do you go outside? No, I'm in the house all the time, but I can't find any friends. Like, we want somebody to join the pity party with us, right? And these are the reasons why we're in a feedback loop, right? You get the call, you refuse the call, you meet the mentor, you reject the mentor. You refuse the call, reject the mentor. Back and forth, back and forth. You find new friends, but you don't like them. You don't like them because new friends. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You confront your fear, you run away from your fear. You confront it again. There you go. And so you're in this feedback loop of ridiculousness, right? Or my favorite is you get the reward, right? Like, you actually get through all the hard parts and you're like, I'm awesome. I'm going to the suburbs. I'm done. And you don't finish the journey that's bigger than you, so you get rich and you go and hang out and don't do anything else with your life. So here are some things you might want to think about. Whenever something new happens, you get a new job, a new school year, new relationship, new environment, new family member, new pet. Marmaduke's trying to get her to carry him because she sees the small dog getting carried. He wants to get carried too. And she's like, absolutely not. You're like 7 feet tall. Mm-hmm. But when that happens, that could be your call to adventure. Whenever you feel apprehension, you're overwhelmed, scared, you feel inadequate, failure of success, you're outside your comfort zone, that could be you refusing the call. When you meet somebody you don't get right away, new boss, they're arrogant, they're smarter than you, they push your buttons, they'll train you on something you don't know, they see a bigger vision for you than you do, and it scares you, that could be a mentor. Mentors, if you think about movies you've watched, mentors rarely get along with the person they mentor in the very beginning of the movie. They often are antagonistic to that person because the person getting the mentor doesn't understand the relationship yet. Whenever you feel like you crossed the line, you have received information that has changed your perspective. You've heard about some kids in Ghana that need help. You become aware of a problem you must engage. You feel a need to solve a problem that no one else will solve. No one will go with you on your idea. You have friends and family around you that won't sign on to your ridiculousness. You feel alone in the decision and you're totally outside your comfort zone. You may cross threshold. Whenever old concerns begin to emerge, right? You were a kid and you hated public speaking, and suddenly you have to speak at this conference at the house at the Convergence House in out of town, or you get parental trauma. Your mom's calling you don't speak to for 10 years. You have to speak on stage. All that stuff. You could be approaching the innermost cave. Your greatest fears are being realized, right? Whenever you feel like you can't succeed, hopelessness, public humiliation happens to you, you're left alone, you have a new fear of failure, you have a new fear of success. This happens to novelists all the time, right? I'm writing a book, right? And I get to that point midway through the book where I'm like, this will never work. This will never work. This will never work. Oh my God, this might work. This might work. This might work, right? I'm at the ordeal. I'm terrified of the success for this, right? Oops, I missed it. Whenever you resolve those issues, right? You solve the problem, you forgive your partner, right? Because the hero's journey can happen in marriages and relationships, right? You make up with your parents, you give your speech, you finish your creation. You're super happy about it. You may have the reward. Whenever you confront the past, you see your dad you haven't seen in 10 years, you're kind of mad at him because cut your arm off. But you're like, hey, let's rectify, let's forgive. You visit some old friends at home. You go home and see your parents. You run into your ex. Has this ever happened to you? You're super happy. You see your ex-girlfriend or boyfriend. You're like, oh, my God, I got to do this again. You know, but that could be you confronting and going on the road back. You feel like you're almost there. This happens at the very end of the cycle, right? You have huge feelings of humility. You have ownership of your ideas. You're super tired. No one seems to want to help you at this point. No more planning is needed, and you have successes based on solely your execution. You could be at the atonement stage. And whenever it expands beyond you, other folks are not willing to help and buy. Strangers begin to inquire about what it is. Suddenly respect is won from detractors in the past. You return with a fresh perspective. You may get sudden press attention or funding appears. This could be returning with the elixir. What the Bible says about this: be patient, be kind, don't demand your own way, don't be jealous, don't be proud, don't be rude, don't be irritable. Don't rejoice about justice, rejoice when truth wins out, never give up, never lose faith, be always hopeful, endure through every circumstance, be mature. This is only advice from Corinthians 13:6. Just one passage from the Bible. I've heard there are other passages with also very valuable information in them. Mm-hmm. If you just read the book and follow it, you could solve a great number of the problems you confront with your hero's journey. So don't be discouraged. Just focus on what's important. Thank you.
We Mass Media, media empowering community.